Hello, today I'm going to teach you how to retarget rigs from any game onto the Tarkov rig and take those animations from that game and put them into Tarkov. So, we're going to need a couple things. I'm ripping from COD, so I'm using a custom plugin for doing the importation. It's a .cast plugin, but this is purely going to be for whatever you need. So grab the plugins and stuff for whatever you need. I assume you already have them if you're watching this tutorial. So you can import the animations and rig into Tarkov. You'll need the animations, you'll need the models and the rig itself. You're going to need the SDK, obviously. I assume you already have the SDK for here. And you're going to need the example pack that I leave in the description. Let's get started. So let's start off with the actual gun rig that we're going to put all the Tarkov animations onto. There's going to be 3 to 4 rigs that we're going to use, and a couple of them are going to be clones of another. So let's go to the example files. Let's load the Fulcrum knife base. So now you can see we have our base knife. It has animations too. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to animation. We're going to change it from the dope sheet to the action editor. Get rid of the action that is currently assigned. And then hold Alt and then do Alt R, Alt G, and Alt S. And that's going to reset rotation, position, and scale. The reason we're doing that is because we do not want any animation data to retain onto here for now. So now that that's done, we're going to name this collection that we currently have. If you don't have a collection, make one. I'm just going to make one for the sake of it. I'm going to name it Filthy Rig. Filthy Rig is, the best way I can put it is this armature right here. I call it the Filthy Rig because to me it's messy, because everything's split up and nothing's tied to each other outside of the hands. But luckily, here, after we put this inside of the Filthy Rig container, we're going to copy this, then paste it. Then drag everything from that outside. This is going to be our second transfer rig, and or just our transfer rig. So we're going to rename all of, actually we can leave these. Rename this to transfer rig, and then we're going to make this in its own collection. Grab everything, put it in. Now we need to get your Call of Duty or whatever game you're ripping from skeleton and meshes and shit. So let's go ahead. We're not going to import the animations just yet. We just need the rig. So we'll do COD rig, and then we're going to import .cast because cast is for me for COD. And I'm going to import the model that I'm going to be using as the base. So we have my model. It's in a group. We're going to do this. Just put it back in its COD rig. If it becomes a group, just delete the group. Problem solved. Now you need to import the the example hands with the collarbone that I have in the SDK, or not in the SDK, I'm sorry, in the example files. So now we come down here, you can see a lot smaller. Depending on what game you're ripping from, the models are going to be scaled by 100. Sometimes they'll be scaled by negative 100. So I need to put this to 0.01, which will be minus 100 scale. That was my character's arms. We put this in here too. Or put this in here too. Now, we need to scale this COD model down. And then rotate it 90 degrees so it's facing forward. You should never move the actual arms in Tarkov, like the positioning of the Filthy Rig, should always be facing negative Y. Like its forward should be negative Y. So we can turn this back off, and now we have this all set up. All we need to do now is set up the transfer rig to properly have animations for the weapons itself. So we can turn this off, open up the transfer rig. and we're gonna click on it, go to the data, which is the dancing stickman, go to viewport display, set this to stick. This will make your life a lot easier, and it'll make so the fucking bones aren't huge. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna go into edit mode for the skeleton. We can open up the transfer rig here, open up the actual armature, and we're gonna start by with the right hand real quick. And we have this right hand palm. Open up the weapon root. You'll see R collarbone, RIK, R hand, and then the weapons. What we have to do is we have to parent these bones, like all these right hand bones, to the actual palm. So for this right hand and right IK is going to get parented to the palm. Right collarbone will get parented to right collarbone. And to parent things, what you do is you click on the bone, and then you click on the bone you're going to parent it to, and then go to the viewport with your cursor, Control P, and then click on Keep Offset. Make sure to always do them all as Keep Offset. There's only going to be some bones that we may end up doing without Keep Offset, but I'll explain it when we get there. So now we got to add bone melee, fireport, shellport there into the palm. And the bend goal right, this is going to be parented to forearm 1 because forearm 1 is your elbow. And now we're going to parent the bend goals in the left IK. The weapon vest IK can stay. So we close the collarbone for the right side and we open up the left one. So we'll parent these two, the left hand and left IK to left palm. Then the bend goal left will go on the forearm 1. The collarbone marker will go to the human elk collarbone. And now the last thing I need to do currently is set up the actual weapon itself, the weapon bone, to move base the right palm. So we'll open this up again. Alright, one thing I forgot to mention, it was kind of a fuck up on my part, is the actual bone for the weapon. We do not need to put it in the palm. Instead, we put it into the right upper arm and make sure it keeps the offset. So that will actually hold the container for the weapon. Now that that's done, we should be good. Palm, keep offset, and now that is done. So from here, I can move. Honestly, yeah, I can move these two back. Actually, no, we're not gonna. We're just gonna leave them for now. Close them. Close this. That is this rig done. Your transfer rig is now complete and it is ready to be used. Now we get to move on to the actual Call of Duty rig. So for the Call of Duty rig, in this case, it would be just whatever rig you have, you need to pose the example collarbone hands in the exact same position that these arms are, to the point where these bones will line up with where the bones are on here. I'm gonna quickly just do it because I already have this step done, but you'll have to manually pose all this and set this up through your example character collarbones. So I will be back. Alright, from here, before we start parenting anything, what we need to do is we need to grab our transfer rig. We're going to copy it and then paste it. So now we have the transfer rig. The reason we copy and paste rather than just using the one that is there and is in case we break anything. So we're going to name this transfer rig, fucking transfer rig 4, God. Now, what we do is we're going to merge our bones from the collarbones to the transfer rig. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to scripting after selecting the two, run the align armatures. I did it wrong, select it the other way around. Make sure you're doing the transfer rig first, then the collarbone, so it goes to the collarbones. Now, in the actual pose, It is missing the weapon, so I'm actually just going to delete this real quick and turn this back on. We can close this, grab everything in here, paste out, turn off that, transfer rig for COD, and we'll just do the same process again. Boom. Now we have the knife there too. So what we get to do now is we can go to animation, select all the bones, go to pose, animation, bake animation, set it to 1 end frame, turn on visual keying and clear constants. Make sure it's bake data set to pose, all these are on, hit OK. Now kill the action, go back to layout, go into pose mode, and then do Control A, apply pose as rest pose. So now we can get rid of these collarbones. We have the hands. So what we're going to do is we're going to just retarget the armature to now be on the transfer rig. So whenever we move the transfer rig, as you can see, let me grab, not the weapon, not the camera, collarbone markers, I'm grabbing all the IK stuff, sorry. Here you go, here's the upper arm. Moves properly. Now, for the real fun part, I'm going to move this into the COD rig, the transfer rig into the COD rig collection, move this all in here too. I'm going to merge the COD rig with the transfer rig with the Call of Duty rig. So select the transfer rig first, then the Call of Duty rig or whatever rig you're using, Control J, and what we need to do now is check the transforms. That is very important. Because we need to see if the the transforms broke. And I'll show you an example of what happens with that. So my transforms, my z-axis is no longer standing straight up like it used to. So what we need to do to fix this is do the same thing we did for the arms that we were using a transfer rig for. We scaled this up to 100. We're going to make this look 90 degrees, so we make it look this way, because you have to copy the exact shape and everything of the original COD rig. Control A, all transforms. Then we're going to go scale it down again. There we go. Boom, boom. Minus 90 degrees. My weapon's misplaced, but that is okay. We can always move that back. Let's see if we set this to 1. No, it does not like being set to 1. That's okay though, because we can just either delete or hide them. I would probably delete them though, but I'll leave them here for now, just hidden. Now what we get to do is make sure the axes are correct, then bring them together, turn this on. Okay, good. Axes are now correct, and we can see everything. We can turn these back on, see if these fix themselves. Nope, so we can leave them. Luckily, that is not a very big deal. What we get to do now is open up the collarbone, and we get to start merging all of these with the Call of Duty rig. This is going to take a while, so preferably get a snack and relax. Yeah. Now hop into edit mode. So now that we have the full skeleton in edit mode, we're going to open up the right arm first, because that's going to have the other bones we need, like this weapon bone for the melee and all these. So firstly, we're going to start moving these bones outside. We're going to move these into the Tarkov rig. Or not in the Tarkov rig, we're going to move them to the Call of Duty rig. My bad. So the bone melee, fire port, shell port, and possibly whatever other bones you have for weapons are going to get moved depending on what rig you have. If you have a rig like Call of Duty or Battlefield that use a that use a bone for placing its weapons down, we're going to use that. Then we're going to parent these bones to that. So for example, my bone I need is tag weapon. So I'm going to highlight all three of those, click on tag weapon, and then we're going to hit keep offset, but we don't actually want the offset. So I'm going to end up moving the bones based on the actual tag weapon. So I got to copy the head, the tail, and the roll all to these bones. Fireport and shellport are not mandatory, but like to move them, but I recommend doing them all in case anything happens, because that's what I've always done. So we just quickly do this. Then I just gotta do the shellport. And then we do that one, this one, and that one. All those are done. Tag weapon is now complete. Your actual weapon bones are complete. So, what we're going to do now, very simple. We're going to start parenting all the bones to the corresponding bones in Call of Duty. Well, in this case, for me, Call of Duty, whatever brig you use. So I'm going to parent my right collarbone to the right clavicle, because that's where they line up. And then that's done. Right shoulder is going to be right upper arm. Right forearm 1 is going to be elbow. Palm is going to go to the wrist. Forearm 2 and 3 are going to go to wrist front twist 1, because forearm 2 and 3 are twist bones. We're going to open this up. We're going to open up the index. Now for the cod bones in specific, they have finger bones inside of the palm. So instead we want the ones that actually start at the finger. I'm going to open up the finger bones. But before I do that, I'll kind of explain how these finger bones are labeled. So it goes from 11 to 51. 11 being the thumb, and then 51 being your pinky. So you'll have your index, your middle finger, and your ring finger as 21, 31, 41. So if you're looking at it in here, it goes from right to left on the right hand, and then on the other side, on the left hand, it goes from left to right. Very simple and straightforward. So if I need to use the index, I need to do digit 21, 22, and 23. So I'm going to parent those to each one. I'm probably going to end up speeding up the video here, so I can quickly just get this done and we can get further down in the tutorial. But enjoy the sped up version with the music.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it, move it. All girls all over the world. Original King Julian, funny case man. I love how all the girls move their body. And when you move your body, you don't move it nice and sweet and sassy, alright? Woman, you're cute, and you don't need no makeup. Original cute body makeup on model. Woman, you're cute, and you don't need no makeup. Original cute body makeup on model. Woman, physically fit, physically fit, physically fit. Woman, physically fit, physically fit, physically fit. Woman, nice, sweet, fantastic. Big your body out in the big Titanic. Woman, nice, sweet, energetic. Big your body out in the big Titanic. Woman, nice, sweet, fantastic. Body out in the big Titanic, woman and nice, sweet, fantastic. Big body out in the big Titanic. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it, move it, move it. body make a man mad up. Woman, you cute, and you don't need no makeup. Original cute body make a man mad up. Eyeliner, funny face and make man mad up. Nose powder, funny face and make man mad up. Like your eyebrow, funny face and make man mad up. Got your lipstick, funny face and make man mad up. Woman, you nice broad face and a nice hip, make man flip and bust them lip. Woman, you're nice and you don't get thick. Picture about the ocean at the big Titanic. Woman, a nice broad face and a nice hip, make man flip and bust them lip. Woman, you're nice and you don't get thick. Picture about the ocean at the big Titanic. Whoa, 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 whoa. I like to move it, move it. He like to move it, move it. She like to move it, move it. You like to move it. They like to move it, move it. You like to move it, move it. I like. Oh, did I? Have I done I? Did I do? I like to. I think I did. I like. We. What about we? They. They did they as well. Okay. Oh, I got it. I got the new one. I got the new one. Them? No, is that, can I say them or not? Them like to move it, move it. I'm gonna say them. Them like to move it, move it. We like to move it, move it. Wait, there's gotta be another one.
Now that we're done, we can start adding animations onto this to test. So, real quick, we will go load an animation. And I'm making a machete, so we'll use the machete's idle pose. Now we can see problem number 1. This may not be, yep, this was not assigned. This armature for the example arms is not assigned to the armature. So now we go back down, and wow, look at that, it's all set up. So I just gotta get rid of the darkness of it, there we go. And just assign a proper color to it so I can see the clipping. That's going to be a pain in the ass because I made multiple colors. We'll do pink. Nothing should blend with pink. So let's go ahead and hide the skeleton real quick. Oh, my bad. Hide the skeleton real quick. And in our lights, and if you don't have a lights and camera collection, make one. And then click it and then Shift A, camera. Set it to, should be 90, 0, 90. I'm wrong, it should be 180. There we go. So 90, 0, 180. Set the camera to 0, 0, 0. Go to the actual camera data tab. And then go to field of view. Or swap it, the lens unit itself to field of view for millimeters. Set it to 65 because that is the base Tarkov FOV. And now hit numpad 0 and it'll take you to the camera. So now we can see it is actually animated. You can see our hands moving, and if we hide the rig that we were using, or the mesh on the rig that we were using, and just have the Tarkov one, you can see it is fully animated. Now, we want to add a weapon to this. What we're going to need to do is we're going to need to import the weapon. For importing the weapon, what we're going to do is go to import, import whatever model type you have. Let's see, where's mine? Mine should be right here, here, and I have the machete. Mine's scaled really high up. So I'm just going to do 0.01. And I don't like these tassels, so I usually nuke them. Now what I'm going to do, actually, you know, I'll keep the tassels. I'll just combine them. What I'm going to do now is move this out of my weapon. Or I'm going to move the weapon out of my camera container, because I just like to put it there. I'm going to click on the skeleton that it came with. Yours may come with skeletons, yours may not, it really depends. I'm going to click on it, I'm going to go to Constraints, Object Constraint. I'm going to create one for copy location and copy rotation. We're going to select the skeleton that we have from the one we merged with COD and Tarkov. Where I'm going to look for the weapon I bound it to. So that's, for me, it's tag weapon. So I just need to do that for both. And now I can see we have the actual weapon here. Go in first person, it's there. Now, you may be seeing the knife in there and wondering, why is it like that? That is actually something we are going to fix pretty soon. So what we will end up doing is we will move the actual weapon itself into that position for our filthy rig. But for now, voila, you have now made your transfer rig for actual animations to work on Tarkov. All you'd have to do now is save this, and you can work from here if you want to make any new animations using this rig. So, what we're going to do now is very simple. We're going to open up the Filthy rig. We're going to click on the Filthy rig, and then we're going to click on the Milsim rig, and then parent them together. Well, not parent, my bad. Go to script and align the armatures together. So if we hide the COD rig, see this is on the base Tarkov rig now. So if I give this, we'll just set this to green, kill that. All right, as you can see, it's now set to the base Tarkov rig. All you would do from here to save an animation is go to animation, have the entire pose highlighted, animation, bake action, keep this the same, make sure these three are on, bake data for the pose, hit OK. Now name this EFT underscore whatever. Mine's idle, so I named it underscore idle. And then hit stash to save the animation. So that is how you actually add animations onto it. But we'll go over this again after I show you how to get the weapon on there. Now for actually adding the weapon. What we're going to do is as follows. We're going to quickly check we're going to check if the weapon is still misaligned on the Filthy rig when we do the scripting. Sorry for the big pause there, I just lost track of thought. Hide the COD rig. Oh. Just gotta go back a little bit. Alright. So now turn on the COD rig, go here to here, scripting. I set it up incorrectly, my bad. Go from the COD rig first, then to your Filthy rig armature. Interesting, it's not transferring. Alright, I'm back. My bad. I was having what is commonly known as a skill issue. So what we're going to do is select the armature for your Tarkov rig, the real one that we're going to be using to export animations on and bake them to. And select your one that we made with the COD rig. Hit run the align armature script, and you can see it's down there. All we need to do now is see if we hide this and hide this skeleton. Turn off the transfer rig as well. The knife is misaligned. We'll run the animation. It moves, but clearly it's not aligned. So what we're going to be doing is spawning in another version of the machete. Let me just click into the Filthy rig, and then I'm going to import my machete. Keep the tassels. Actually, this time, I'm removing the tassels. I'm keeping the tassels. I'm honestly very indecisive. I'm removing the tassels. No more tassels. We don't need them anyways. Pop, pop. Shrink it down to your armature. I'm going to do all transforms and then convert to mesh. And I'm going to nuke it. So now I just have the base model, no skeleton. What we got to do from here is open up the constraints, do an object constraint on the location and the rotation. Now we're going to select our actual armature for the Filthy rig, and we're going to do bone underscore melee. And then we're going to do the same here. Bone underscore melee. And then we can even hide the knife. Then turn on the COD rig and see if it's in the exact pose. And as you can see, it is in the exact pose and the exact location. So that is done. Make sure to also set the parent of the weapon. In this case, it is our just name it weapon underscore machete. Move it in here. Double drag. And we're going to set the parent in relations to, we're going to set to a bone, and we're going to set that bone to bone melee. So there we go. And that's how you properly set up the weapon. All we have to do now is bake the animations and get it in game. I'm not going to show you the SDK part because assumedly you should already know the SDK part if you are doing this. But if you guys do want an SDK part, please let me know. So I'm going to go ahead and bake the animations. You guys can watch me do it. And I'll show you guys it in game once it's set up in the container. Alright, now that we're done, all we have to do from here is simple. Turn off the COD rig, turn off the lights, make sure to turn off everything but your actual container for the filthy rig. Grab it, make sure there's no animations on it currently running, make sure you have all your animations stashed. Grab it for one last time in pose mode, select every bone, do Alt, G, and S to reset rotation, scale, and position. And now we can save the actual blend file somewhere. I'm going to go ahead and put it somewhere. Let's see, we'll put it in weapons. And we'll put it in knives, we'll put it in machete. Machete, dot blend. That's not all. What we need to do now is do export as an FBX. I'm going to put mine on the desktop because it's nice and easy. And all you have to do is do armature, remove the leaf bones, open up Pick Animation, make sure all these are on. Apply scaling, make sure to set to FBX all. And you are ready to go. Make sure to export it and give it some time. Okay. Now that it is exported, we can go ahead and check one thing and see if it exported anything else, which it shouldn't, but I always do like to check. It's kind of like my OCD type of deal. So wait for it to import. It's going to take a little bit. And oh, we have everything. If we actually check the animations, we'll see. If I do EFT underscore idle, yeah, all the animations are there. And they're all keyframed along with the weapon. So you are ready to put this in the SDK. I hope this helped you. If you have any concerns or questions, message me. I can try and help you, or message people at the WTT team. They can also help you. I've taught them most, if not all, the knowledge I know, and I do trust them with helping people with the SDK. They're very talented, so please do ask either me or them for help. If you need to know how to install the Tarkov SDK, also ask them for help. I will be making more tutorials in the future, but this was one of the most urgent ones, as many people requested it, as they didn't want to make their own animations, or they just wanted to grab others from other games because they wanted to import guns. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this helps. Have a good day or night.